Welcome to our second class, third quarter. What in the heck are we doing here? Galactic to Gaia platform, Earth mission. What's it about, Alfie? And we'll see. We'll see. So, welcome. Let's get our space set and place ourselves into the circle, and then I'll share some things and we'll go from there. Okay. So take a breath. Let that breath bring you to that state of connection to the divine family. Your divine family who set the agenda for specific experiences, set the agenda for specific creations and manifestations to experience, whether that was joy, peace, clarity, inner knowing. Those were the agendas. So let's breathe ourselves back to that point of birthing from home. That is an anchor point for each of us. So far from home, we've forgotten our beginning, our agenda to birth from home, and the reason we're here on the planet. This is the opportunity for us to remember, reconnect, rebalance, to stand in those truths. We're meeting on the ground of sacred sovereignty, up and away from the toxicity, the judgments, victim rescue, bad guy, domination, right, wrong, sovereignty. Surrounded, each one of us, ourselves, our home, our land, our families, those that we are connected in love, surrounding us with the field of energy we call the ultra golden cocoon. Its intention is to keep us in remembrance of who we are, why we're here, how we get back home, how we bring our family members to home from here. We're grateful for Gaia for allowing us to be on her field and stand with her in the declaration that those who have no permission to be here must be removed from her field. As we stand in the declaration that all who have no permission to match or whom do not match our divine agendas of home cannot remain in our field. They must be removed, and we have teams that will cause that to happen. So we invite our personal guides, our teachers, the teams helping us navigate our personal lives and whatever contribution we are called to make, whatever creations of good we are called to make. Invite them into this circle with us. Give them permission to be as close to you as you want them to be. Bringing to you information that you need to stand firm and strong and healthy and vibrant. So we're here to learn, to share, to expand, to bring completion, Earth mission, to bring completion to Earth mission, so that home vibrations, energies, and concepts can grow here safely and expandedly. With that, this circle is set. It is open for our time together. Let yourself sense or feel the energy of that field. You are here in sovereignty, in greater purpose than most know. We are here to identify what constricts and move them to removal, extinction, to embrace that which expands home. We dance in that new vision of home here. And when you're ready, bring yourself into this circle, sensing those who are here with us. When we're ready, we'll put ourselves in the circle and get ready for our time. So welcome everyone. Let's place ourselves in the circle with yourself, who you want to place either by name or number into the circle for that scrubbing of and eliminating what's really been stuck in our world that keeps individuals and our systems from functioning in wholeness, as well as what quality you would like to have with us today. So we'll do that by tagging around. Sharon Raji Maynard here, Woodby Island. I'm going to put 260 individuals into the circle. 3 very specific entwined situations. 4 four-leggeds and the quality. Oh, and I want the entirety of the 8th dimension, the entirety of the Earth experience, along with our new female experienced planning team called the Golden Dragons. I want them in that circle too today. And the quality I want to have here with us is clarity and commitment, 2 of them. Clarity, commitment. Margie?
I'm Margie Lystra, and I'm here in Sandy, Utah. I'd like to bring into the circle all those that I'm connected to in love, family, friends, one very spoiled fur baby. And words for today are conscious creating. Pass to Arlie.
Hi, I'm Arlie in New Zealand. I'd like to bring in 127 people, 3 furries. There's 6 situations I would like looked at, and my quality I'd like to bring in today, 2 of them, wisdom and discernment. And I will pass to Alicia.
Thank you, Arlie. I'm Alicia Wilson. I'm in Gilbert, Arizona. I would like to bring in 54 family members, 13 fur babies. I would also like to add in all those that have received their walk-ins that are currently calibrating and maybe a little confused, that may ease their journey. And my word for today that has been coming up all day is disillusion. Dissolution. Yeah. Am I saying that right? And I will pass to Orlantha.
Hello, Marlantha, joining you all from Gilbert, Arizona. I'd like to bring in 30 people to the circle today, including 4 fur babies. And the word or the phrase I want to bring in today is truth finding. And just want to bring in the whole issue of misinformation, particularly relating to medicine and the health field. I am constantly discussing misinformation about vaccines to parents on a frequent basis. So, yeah, so truth seeking. And I'd like to pass to Deborah.
Thank you, Orlantha. I'm Deborah in Sanford, North Carolina. I'd like to bring in 167 people. My 2 sisters-in-law who's have had surgeries recently. Lots of world events. Russian drones in Poland and drug interdictions in Southern Hemisphere and all kinds of stuff. And my word is peace. And Pat, did you go?
Hi, I'm Pat Barrett, and I live in Augusta, Georgia. And I want to bring into the circle everyone that I know that is facing any kind of surgery, whether it's immediate or in the future, and all those who are struggling with diseases and trying to find their path in the midst of that. And for all people who are deliberately trying to find their path. And I don't know if it's a word, but I have been noticing that when I come up against situations that I think are detrimental or I have a negative point of view about the outcome, that I have to remind myself that all things will work for the people who trust in the Lord. So maybe trust is the word. And Alicia, have you been? Yes. Arlie, have you been? Yes. Is there anybody missing? Grandmother?
Sharon.
Sharon.
Thanks, Pat. I'm Sharon Alexander in Boulder, Colorado. I'd like to bring 136 people in and four fur babies, multiple situations, and especially those in the Western medical realm. Seems like there might be a little bit of a theme here. And my word is transparency. I'll call on Tara if you would like to share, Tara.
Thank you. I'm Tara. I'm in Anthem, Arizona. I would like to bring in 17 people, 3 4-leggeds, all the energy of trauma that exists from forever. And I would like to, let's see, 4 situations. And my word, I have 2 words, freedom and victory. And I think everybody went.
Yes, I think so too. Okay, let's activate that field of divine good. Let's amplify and activate. Shorten the time of healing. Shorten the time of removing that which seems impossible for our family members, our mission volunteers. And the qualities that we are going to anchor for our circle, we want in our field amplified, anchored, and then broadcast out into the greater field a millionfold. Clarity, commitment, conscious creating, wisdom, discernment, dissolution, truth finding, peace, trust in the greater truth, adding that path, transparency. Move our consciousness into those realities, those vibrational songs, make them part of our field and the field of humanity. And so it is. So those who, most of you were here last week, and we talked about one of the things we wanted to change was maybe for me to talk first about some things, whatever that is, things. And then then we could take a break and you can share with it. And so that's what I thought I would do today. So if there's anything that's on your mind, anything, feedback, questions, etc., please write them down so you don't forget, okay? Capture them, because we're going to kind of flip the presentation, see what happens. And so as you know, Maria, who is always vicariously with us because she's in Poland, she travels a lot, but she still, wants to be part of the group. And so I reached out to her because of the drone to say, I hope you're safe. She said, well, you're probably hearing it worse than it is. I'm fine. And she went on, and she's traveling all over the place. She's really doing some really great things, working with the Black Madonna, Mother Mary, and Mary Magdalene, which has been, that Sophia for her is that how it's anchored. So I just wanted to report back in relationship to Maria, who's in Warsaw. And so where do I start today? I'm going to start, I think, with something I shared in all of my social posts today. Substack got it, Patreon got it, Facebook got it, Instagram got it, Blue Sky got it, LinkedIn got it. I didn't send it to any email, but I'm going to show you this. So it was interesting, the feedback I've gotten so far. So this is a collage of women. So we have Virginia. You probably don't know Natalie, but she's like an Erin Brockovich in her country. She's hiding right now because of the danger of exposing toxicity. Barron and Casey also standing up for rape victims in her country and being called a racist. You know Erin, and you probably all have heard of Giselle. Few women, just a few women. I mean, there is more women. Oh, one thing I didn't put in there, I see, is and the Epstein survivors. All of these women are standing up for what's true, even at the expense of their life. Truly, all of them. And then we have these women coalescing around Trump. I thought such a stark difference between what these women are doing and have done and the way these women are doing. And I said, you know, women are waking up. We're saying women need to be in charge. Women need to be part of decision making. But all women are not the same. I didn't say that, but they're not the same. So which group of women would you be proud to stand with in building the new world? These people, these women, or these women? You know? What was interesting, and it'll roll on, be more comments as we go along. What was interesting is how many comments I got that didn't seem to see the difference because they're all women. I'd embrace them all. We need them all. I'm going like, holy crap. So this word discernment, truth finding is so, so important. I was listening to an 84 interview who a fellow he came from Russia who'd been in Secret Service there and talking about what the process was for the United States to fall. And how in 84 we were so right on, we were ahead of the game. And the first thing was to so disempower individuals to that old, in the galactic worlds, it was the broadcasting, you don't know enough, I know more. You don't know enough, I know more. Well, it was the same concept. In 84, he defected from Russia, and he said they're already way ahead of what they thought the United States would be, and that was in 84. But they didn't have Sophia, and we didn't have Sophia. So there's definitely, we're living in different times, but what is it, where is it we stand in this class? What is it that we're about in this class, you know? So some of the things that have come up was, let's go back to some of the basics. I'm going to go back to some of the basics and maybe explain them a little bit more and maybe see, you know, because we don't start building here, let's start reviewing here. And we're going to start reviewing that you are a star being, you're a soul, you're a dot of light, intelligence with all of the qualities of what we call, or what I call home. I call it source. I don't call it universe. It's where there's a beginning, but no beginning. It's an energy field that is all powerful, all intelligent, all magnificent, all balance, all beauty. Everything that's harmonious is that field we call home or source. And you are in that field as a dot of that entire intelligence. And if you use colors, all of the colors of the rainbow move through, the songs move through. So it's always a moving experience of all possibility. Nothing's left out. So you might hear country music and then classical and then rock and then, you know, it's just moving through all the time. But you are specifically attracted to a specific range or song or color. You. Nobody forced you, but something excited you. And because of that excitement, you kind of began to be around the water cooler, if you will, with others who were enjoying the same type of song or color. So in tag, we'll call it color. So you started coalescing around those who loved all the vibrations that the various shades of green, which is curiosity, or yellow, or orange, or blue, or violet. You started coalescing and having conversations like we are now around what excited you. There was nothing about other things that was not good, it was going to hurt you. It was just that you love something uniquely. You love something uniquely. And with all the other in the background, let's move ourselves into a space, birth, if you will, emerge from home, where we have just the amazing vibrations, colors, shades of music of green, and we don't have to filter out the other. Just that time, for a time. And you then birthed at the Divine Family Collective. We all did that. And that was in Laniakea. So the life forms in Laniakea, we have no idea how many they are, where they are. We just don't know. But you were one in that galactic world with your Divine Family. And all of the vibrations, the codes, the colors, the songs that you wanted to hear is what you set in place to filter. As that energy comes from home, you filtered out some of the other, not because it was bad, because you just wanted to filter out. Like autistic people often have to filter out. You filtered out all of the others so that you could really relax into green. So, although you filtered out the majority, you didn't cut all of the peace and joy and clarity off, but you just amplified green or whatever color your family had. And that was the first world that you as a Divine Family member were in. And your intention was to just be there until you were completed. Back to home we go to have it all, but we have been enriched and strengthened and know a lot more about this area of our home, green. That was the plan. And that went along really quite well. What we didn't prepare ourselves for is that there were some beings of light who have life, who extended from home with an agenda to use other people's energies. Now, you don't have that option in home. That's not even an option in home. You cannot use other people's, you don't need to, but you don't. But there were groups of Divine Family collectives that by their choice, once they had emerged from home, said, let's have the experience of just riding somebody else's coattail. Anything that's parasitic by nature is not possible in home. It's not. It's only possible because star members who are brilliant, they know coding just as you did and do, created coding, numerical formulas to insert into that flow from home. Bingo. Now you and your family had kind of filtered out a program to filter out, but they put in a very different kind of code. And it was a code that says, we will use other people's energies. We don't need to do it ourselves. We'll just use other people's creations, other people's energy, and made themselves parasitic by agenda. It's not the truth of their true being, but they added that component to their flow from home. That's one of the most important parts of this whole galactic understanding. Because here we are on the planet, and I don't know, I started being awake at about 84. Do a bigger picture. Maybe I was in a box. By then, the information was already crippled here in the United States. And when I asked in 89, hey, there's something wrong, where can I go to learn? I was told it's not even on the planet. It's been taken from the planet. So what we had was that all there is love. Love's more powerful than fear. Don't feed the wolf of fear, feed the wolf of love, totally excluding that there was an elephant in the room that was designed by choice to gobble up your energy. It was an elephant, sorry, elephant, that by choice was parasitically evil, totally out of most philosophies. So here we are in your galactic world, and you're doing really good, and you're shining bright, and you're doing your green or your yellow or your orange or your violet or your blue. And you know how it is when you're at a concert that you love and you're dancing and everybody's safe and lovely. You're going to clean up any messes you make. Yeah, Burning Man, And you are so enticing to whom? Those of parasitic nature. Because those who are parasitic have no concern, no valuing, no care of anyone outside of their little group. They don't care about you. They do not care. No empathy, no compassion, no awareness. It doesn't matter how hard you scream. It doesn't matter how much pain you're in. They do not care. They do not. That's their nature. Their nature is, I'm going to get mine, and you are it. Period. And here we are, juicy, juicy, juicy. Each one of your families, very juicy. And so how can they lie to you, your family? Well, broadcasting is what is a major part of what they are great at. Broadcasting energy, broadcasting concepts, broadcasting. So they have broadcast into that greater field way before you were there. Way before you were there. They were there before your families were there. You are not enough. You are so magnificent. Have you ever looked at how pathological relationship come into a woman's life, especially a woman's life, but it can be a man too? You are so magnificently wonderful. I've never seen anybody like you. Oh my gosh, you make me feel like the moon, sun, and stars. I can't live my life without you. And here's to roses and chocolates, and I'm going to take you in a movie. And love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. Same thing happens here. You are so wonderful. You are so magnificent. But you know what? We've been around a lot longer than you. Yeah, we see that you're kind of new on the block. We would love to come in and just give you some ideas. And so if you'll just open the door to your family, because your family is exclusively green, green, green with just a little bit of the other balanced colors. So that's your boundaries, but not so conscious that you're not aware of this might not be what you want. So you open the door, as many in this life do. You open the door, we open the door. Once they were in our space, what happens? They start to diminish, to own, to tattoo. I own you. Here is my mark. I own you. And we became owned by those of parasitic nature. What do? They suck off your energy. They suck your energy. And as they're sucking your energy, they're diminishing what you have to live on. those are the beings I call outsiders, because they are outside of a divine family's agenda of good. They are outsiders. Now, there can be many names under that category. Outsiders are those who have chosen a dominating parasitic agenda before Earth. That's where their first world, that's where they chose it, and they have been that from that point on, and they are true to their agenda. So when you look out in the world today, United States will say, and you see those who have no empathy, they don't really care. They see the major problems, what humanity is saying major problems, citizens are saying major problems. They don't care. They have no will to change it. They keep taking more and more to themselves, very greed-based. They own bodies, pedophilia. Outsiders in our present day. Okay? A major difference in how we look at the world. That is a separate breed of animal. It is not that they got, oh my gosh, traumatized by a mother. No. It isn't that, oh my gosh, look what their fathers and their grandfathers did to them. No, that isn't that. That isn't they. Whenever there is outsider type energies in a space, they unbalance the space intentionally. I mean, their vibrations alone would cause fear, because when are they going to go after your blood? When are you going to slip and fall? I mean, their presence alone generates fear. Their presence alone generates non-trust. Their presence alone makes you wonder. Their actions take it a step further, and they actually they create trauma, they create abuse, they create and live off of terror, witch hunts, gun shootings in schools. You see? So in the galactic world, there became 3 major types of energy. One, home, coming to a divine family, home, balance. Even though it had filters, so they didn't have to experience all the good, they are experiencing a huge portion of home. Home. Some call it love. We'll call it love because that's what a lot of people call it. It's balanced home, a sense of oneness with home, unity, because that's what home energy is. It's one. It's a sense of one with all the diversity of color, with all the creativity and all the opportunities. It's still one. It's harmonious. One. Then came the agenda of domination. We'll just use that because it covers a lot of bases. Domination by intention. So here's this domination. Now that's not duality. That's 2 types of agendas, 2 breeds of cats, if you will. And in that environment, home energy becomes dualistic. It fractures and becomes love and fear, love and doubt, love and distrust. All of that is what happens to our home energy in the presence of parasitic and domination energy. So this energy of home, which can create duality, love and fear, balance and non-trust, that energy can be brought back into wholeness with processes we know. But as long as parasitic outsiders, dominators are in the space, this home energy cannot remain stable. It will not remain unified. This energy of outsider prevents home and creations of home from existing and growing. We were dying. We were dying because that's what parasitic hosts do. All of the families you were in were dying because their energy was being sucked away, and some of them were down like 10% left for the family. We were dying. And then 7 families came together in a collective that says, oh my gosh, you too, you too, you too. And maybe if we came together in a secret collective, maybe we can have enough intelligence, strength to figure out how to get rid of the parasitic dominators, not just for our family, but for all 7 families. That happened in the 6th world. We were diminishing. And so in the 6th world, the collective of 7 families that we're working part of came together and created what is called, I call the Earth Mission. So that's the other part of the galactic understanding that is not a part of humanity's remembrance. So we are not here as star beings to remember who we are. We are not here as star beings to get it right, obey correctly, I don't know, so we never have to come back again. That is BS. That is BS. It's under a survival mentality, which we went into. A survival mentality said, man, if I can just survive this, man, I'm never coming back again. But you know what? That's not truth. It's not the Earth mission. So the Earth mission, again, is what we use in our work. The Earth mission says this: we are all owned, and those outsiders are so slippery and so sneaky that once we think we know them, they change and they change and they change and they change. We need to have a place where it's not so energy waves, but becomes more solid. Slow down the waves. So we needed a place where energy could become slowed down, what we call physical. We had to have a place where energy of any kind could manifest or slow down enough to be identified. We were just out to lunch because we couldn't keep up with it. So we needed a place for something physical or heavy where we could at least see. We needed then a bodysuit that our souls could walk around and do the work, because we are light as air. So we designed a bodysuit that we could walk into, walk out of, to do, whatever we needed to do. But then we also needed a way to get out from under the ownership marks. Because if you are owned on a plantation and you say to your master, I don't want to be here anymore, I'm going to go down the road and have my own farm, well, that doesn't work. You just don't walk away. So we decided if we had 2 bodysuits, the bodysuit of one could carry 2 ownership chips in the bodysuit, which would leave the second body free of chips. free. Free of ownership meant authority. So therefore, gender is not about babies. Gender is about assignment that you volunteered for. So the male, the soul agreeing to come into a male body, agreed to come into the male bodysuit, knowing he would be totally owned and monitored. So the male bodysuit from the beginning and the soul in the bodysuit from the beginning was owned by the parasitics. They owned the male body. They were the god of that body, both in the galactic world and here. They were the god of that body, which left the second body free of chips, no monitoring, free to be on the earth, very physical energy. They still would not be seen. Could anchor onto this planet, work with the intelligence of Gaia. How can I use your elements? How can we create gardens so that we can survive and thrive while we do our mission? Design the garden, work with the garden, birth the garden. All of that could be done, and the outsiders had no idea. They were waiting for the one in the first body, which is the male body, to get off his duff and get mining the gold. But he wasn't. He was sitting around sending energy from above home, from sun through third eye down through the heart, all energy unmonitored. He was having the females back. He was feeding the female and the village through the heart while keeping the total village, the total work of the females unknown by keeping the outsiders at bay. So that as soon as the mission force had a place to be, that the females decided that this is our village, this is our clan, these are the designs, these are the policies, this is our garden, this is how we're going to work together. They birthed all of it, made it manifested. Perfect plan. Outsiders being kept away by the male. And so then it was time there were 9 villages, 12 souls in each village, 6 male bodies, 6 female bodies, separate. So then it was time for the next phase of the mission, which is to activate knowledge, discernment, to taste what outsider energies tasted like, felt like, smelled like on this planet. Because we didn't know, we hadn't been here before. And that was the whole purpose. Slow the energy down so it could be discerned. So the next step was to discern, to know, have knowledge. This is good, this is evil. This builds life, this takes away life. This expands life, this constricts life. Knowledge, discernment. Why? Because once you discern what is not going to be helpful, the female had the authority to call in the troops, to call in the family, in that world beyond. We didn't have elected officials that we turned to. Call in the troops from beyond and say, get this energy, wherever it comes from, eliminate it totally. And we thought that would get done pretty clickety-splickety. And that was the mission, period. End of story. So we landed 600,000 years ago, right around the time of the Neanderthals. 600,000 years ago. We were doing quite well. Females doing what they were doing, males keeping their god at bay. And about 300,000 years ago, in one village, the excitement of the women the excitement of what they were seeing they could do, finally overruled in one moment their caution, and they let the men feel the excitement. So they let the men's energy field be notified of this opportunity, and immediately that energy blip of something that the outsiders had never seen before showed up on their screen, that there's something else here we didn't know. And the myth of the garden, the god of Adam, swoops into the garden almost immediately, said, what in the heck is going on here? And the women in that village, new to the process, new to Sophia, made the decision, because of the broadcasting going on, you're not quite enough. They made the decision they weren't quite strong enough. They would go along to get along until they got stronger. And instead of being able to go along to get along and get stronger, the outsiders knew immediately, because they are the master of energy. They are masters of energy. They saw immediately what was going on, and they crippled the bodysuit, unplugged Sophia's solar plexus, unplugged male heart. So they crippled the chakras, the DNA, and the whole evolutionary unfoldment collapsed. They put a program in place to place deep enmity between those in a female bodysuit and the call of Sophia, crushed Sophia by women, women to crush Sophia. And then 50,000 years, that was Cro-Magnon. 50,000 years later, Homo sapien, they totally replaced the bodysuit. You have been living in a prison suit. Humanity has been living in a prison suit. So that's what we're up against. That's what we've been doing. So here we are, and taking back the mission. So I'm going to have us take a 5-minute break, which will be 1 after the hour. And then I think we might go into some small groups and let you kind of maturate with one another. So after we get back, we'll do a small group, because that's always so valuable. So we'll see you at 1 after the hour. Okay.